Alrighty, challenge accepted on uploading a video for the reply on this week's discussion. However, I'm not going to show my face, and that's because I want to show you guys what I am using currently right now for my classes that I am currently teaching during this time of the coronavirus staying at home edition thing, I guess. So, focusing on what are the two examples of topics in the subject area that I conduct to personalize learning. So I'm currently a long-term sub for Math 3S, which is for juniors, and AP Stats, which is between juniors and seniors. So I teach at a high school. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I use. I use Remind so I can keep in contact with my students, as well as at first, before all this craziness was happening, I was using Google Classroom. So here I'm able to go ahead and log in and go ahead and post announcements. That's mostly what I was using it for, but there's different ways to add classwork if I wanted to for the students there. My AP Stats is actually very familiar with Khan Academy. That's what I've been using for them to be able for them to learn material they will need for the AP exam. But I wanted to go ahead and show you guys something else I currently created during this shutdown of 3 weeks so far for our district. Our school's going to be closed for 3 weeks. And for my homepage, I explained to my students that I don't want them to fall behind. And I do understand that not all of them are going to have access to this. Currently, if I look at my numbers for Khan Academy, my AP classes, I only have, well, if we go to Remind, and Remind, that's how many kids I have. Here I have very few. There we go. Very few. My period 6 is the only one where I have about half of my students in there. But that's the only way I have to communicate with them so far. I will start emailing them as of tomorrow for them to again have access to this. But anywho, in the website, I have it divided by sections of what I teach. In my AP Stats, they are very familiar with Khan Academy already. They used it with a teacher before me, but they didn't like the long videos. So what I accommodated with them was that I am only assigning exercises. So let's go over here. I do assign them exercises. For this week, they have 9.2 and 9.3 assigned. I'm not really looking for them in a specific score for their exercises. I just want them to get some practice in. And then quizzes and tests is where I hope our goal is for them to have a higher understanding of the material and to demonstrate it there. So that's one way they're using right now to catch up with material they will use for the AP Stats exam. Now, what I'm hoping is going to load right now is some PDF notes that the students have access to. So these notes were made actually from the previous teacher. What she did was that she scanned the notes that she handwritten on them. She had printed, handwritten them, and then they went ahead and she has some detailed steps on there for them to hopefully get a better understanding of it. So before all of this in class, students would have a copy of this without her written notes, and then I would give them an amount of time in class to handwrite the notes, because we do know by studies shown that handwritten notes is what helps them, retain the information better. Obviously, this is all new to them most of the time because as an AP class, we do go one section per week. So it is a lot of information for them, but after they have written them, I then have a copied, highlighted of the notes of what I thought were most important highlights of the notes. We review them, we talk about them, and then we do practice work in class. So I think that's pretty good of having that accommodation for students of deciding what helps them most to be able to learn. And then again, also using what we know through studies of what I believe is very useful for students to have some kind of handwritten notes themselves. But of course, it's a little bit harder now that the students are at home and I don't have them in class with me. For Math 3, they're not too used to Khan Academy, but I did went ahead and assign them some, just because I do want them to have some sort of access to material that our seniors already have. But they are very familiar in using the online textbook. I probably can't sign in but students are able to log in. They know how to log in. They have access to the online textbook, which is great. And I did assign some workbook problems again for them to be able to do the handwritten material if if they're not familiar with Khan Academy themselves yet. Another thing, something in the discussion for this week I wanted to hit was an activity that would allow them to customize their interest. Again, I feel like Khan Academy, besides them doing the assigned materials I have given them, they do have the option to go ahead and explore whatever they want to focus on. I did realize that some of my students already use Khan Academy for other subject areas. So again, it's only for their benefit. Moving on to what we are focusing on, the high-tech high designs. So I do use textbooks, and I do reference them a lot. At least I try to. But some projects that I've tried to assign during this craziness going on, I did give this extra credit for my Math 3 on creating a TikTok video. For those of you that don't know, TikTok is an app in which there's a lot of young folks of almost any age creating funny videos, trending videos. And I went ahead and gave it as a credit option for them to find a way to use the creativity of relating it back to math. And that's one way I'm using it to hopefully get their interest in that. So I'm excited on wanting to hear back from them and see what they submit on that. And for AP Stats, a project thing that we did was that I'm having them actually do an essay on this extra credit for the Gabriel Fernandez. Half of the students have already watched this series, so I was like, okay, why not make it extra credit? So now we're making that connection of something that they see out in the real world and how that's connected to what we're learning in class and the significance of taking this class overall. It is overwhelming taking an AP course and then finding the importance of it, I feel like is very significant. So that I've already had students submitting essays on it, and I feel like they're getting the feel of this issue and yet still able to relate it back to class, which was interesting to see. And I can't wait to see more essays on that. And then just going through my website, I have my contact information here. And I have created a section of it where they're allowed to go ahead and have access to any messages that our school district is posting during this time. And yeah, I think that is it. Oh, well, another thing, I do also have extra notes that's again uploaded on Google Classroom where students are allowed to go through and see visually things that will benefit them on the subject area we're working on. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I have, since our professor was mentioning about what we're using ourselves to use technology and to help our students during this time of unable to see them physically on face to face and be able to still make that connection with them and have their learning still process during this time and improve. And it's not going to work for everyone, so I am trying to accommodate as much as we can with the limited time crunch that we were given on trying to figure this out for our student benefits. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and yeah, thank you.